Hi, I'm Jorge Mañón. Welcome to the Unlocking the Hispanic Market podcast, brought to you by the Moonfish Group and Unlocking Consulting. Episode 1, Size Does Matter, Ignoring the Elefante in the Room.
You wanted to unlock the secrets of the Hispanic market, right?
Right.
Well, get this. We're diving deep into this gold mine of insights, talking sheer size, buying power, cultural nuances, the whole 9 yards.
It's going to be big.
And hold on, because we've even got insights from Jorge Mañón's book, Unlocking the Hispanic Market.
Oh, wow. That's a great book.
I know, right? I'm excited to dig into this with you.
Me too. It's not just about unlocking a market. It's about understanding the cultural heartbeat of a demographic that's completely reshaping the American marketplace.
Okay, I like that. Unpack that a bit for me.
Okay, sure.
This isn't just some niche market, is it?
No.
These numbers are mind-blowing.
Mind-blowing is an understatement. Did you know that by 2026, Hispanic buying power is projected to hit $2.8 trillion?
Get out.
I know, right?
That's like the entire GDP of a major country.
It's incredible, and Magnon's book really drives home this point about untapped potential.
Wow, $2.8 trillion. I'm speechless.
Mhm.
I was reading that by 2026, Hispanics will represent nearly 1 in 5 people in the U.S. It's like Mañón says, this isn't just a rising tide, it's a seismic shift in the consumer landscape.
Absolutely. And what makes this even more fascinating is that it's not just about the numbers. It's about understanding the cultural nuances, the biculturalism that defines this market.
Biculturalism. Okay, break that down for me.
Sure.
What does that mean practically speaking?
Think of it this way. 75% of U.S. Hispanics speak Spanish at home, creating this rich blend of American and Latino cultures. So you're looking at a demographic that navigates both worlds, blending traditions, values, and languages in a way that's uniquely their own.
That makes sense. It's like having a foot in 2 worlds, bringing the best of both together.
Exactly.
So for someone like me who's interested in tapping into this market, it's not just about translating a website, it's about understanding that cultural tapestry.
Precisely. And this is where it gets really interesting, especially when we look at their digital footprint.
Okay.
You see, Hispanics are not just bicultural, they're digital pioneers.
Digital pioneers. Now that piques my interest. What makes them stand out in the digital space?
Hold on to your hat because this is a game changer. Hispanics are outpacing non-Hispanics in almost every digital sphere. Social media use, hire, streaming services. They're all over it. Even something as traditional as AM/FM radio, they're 20% more likely to stream it online than non-Hispanics.
Wow, 20%. I'll admit, I'm surprised by that. I wouldn't have guessed they were such avid online radio listeners.
Yeah.
It really highlights how important it is to, stay updated and challenge our assumptions, doesn't it? Especially in a market as dynamic as this one.
You're absolutely right. The Hispanic market is defying expectations and rewriting the rules of engagement, particularly in the digital age.
Yeah.
And this is where understanding their cultural context becomes crucial.
For sure. It's like we're talking about this market that's digitally savvy, bicultural, and experiencing incredible growth. It's like a whole new world of opportunity.
Definitely.
But it also seems incredibly complex.
You've hit the nail on the head. One of the biggest mistakes businesses make is treating the Hispanic market as like a monolith.
Right, like that one-size-fits-all approach just won't fly here.
Yep.
Remember how we talked about Hispanics coming from or having roots in over 30 different countries?
Oh, yeah.
That's a whole lot of cultural diversity.
Exactly. A Cuban American in Miami is going to have a different cultural experience than a Mexican American in Los Angeles.
Totally.
And your marketing strategies need to reflect that.
So how do you even begin to unpack that level of complexity?
Yeah, it's tough.
It's like, it feels like you need a PhD in cultural anthropology just to get started.
Well, a PhD might be helpful, but a good place to start is data.
Okay.
Data can help us understand regional differences, media consumption habits, and even the nuances of language preferences. For example, did you know research shows that Spanish language radio still holds significant influence in markets like Los Angeles and Miami?
Radio. You know what? That one surprised me.
Really?
I guess I tend to think of digital platforms as the go-to for reaching younger audiences.
Yeah.
But this reminds me that traditional media still holds sway in some communities.
Absolutely. It's about understanding those regional nuances.
Yeah.
A campaign that might resonate on TikTok in one city might be better suited for radio waves in another.
That's why you mentioned language.
Yeah.
That's a whole other layer of complexity.
It is.
Our sources mention this ongoing debate about English, Spanish, or even Spanglish.
Oh, right.
How do you navigate that minefield?
It's a great question. And there's no easy answer.
Yeah.
Again, it comes back to understanding your target audience.
So more data.
Data helps, but also consider the emotional impact of language.
Okay.
For some, hearing their native language creates an instant connection.
Right.
A feeling of being seen and understood.
It's like you're speaking directly to their heart.
Exactly. While for others, especially younger generations, Spanglish might feel more authentic to their lived experience.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
So how do you find that sweet spot?
Yeah.
It feels like a delicate dance.
You're right. It's about finding that balance.
Right.
Jorge Menyon, in his book, talks about the importance of cultural sensitivity.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just about translating words. It's about translating sentiment,
Okay.
intent, and understanding the cultural context in which those words are received.
It's like Menyon is saying, don't just talk at this market, talk with them.
Yeah.
Right? Like he really emphasizes that, listening to the needs and desires of this demographic.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's where that true potential is. It's not just about, just translating a message. You have to resonate with the culture itself, build that trust, and establish a real connection.
That makes a lot of sense. It strikes me that we often talk about the Hispanic market in terms of its purchasing power, which, is huge, don't get me wrong, but Menyon seems to be saying there's this whole other level of engagement here.
For sure. It's about recognizing the values that drive this market. Family, tradition, community. These are all, deeply ingrained values that influence everything from buying decisions to brand loyalty.
So it's about aligning your brand with those values in an authentic way. No shortcuts, huh?
Right. It requires that cultural sensitivity.
Yeah.
And that's where the real opportunity lies, because when you get it right, when you connect on that level, you're not just tapping into a market, you're building those lasting relationships with your consumers.
And those relationships, they translate into loyalty, word-of-mouth marketing, and ultimately long-term growth for your business. It's like that saying, people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it, you know?
Exactly. And in the case of the Hispanic market, the why is deeply intertwined with culture, those values, and a sense of shared identity.
This has been, wow, incredibly insightful. We've covered a lot of ground here. So for our listeners out there who are, eager to dive into this market, what's the key takeaway you want to leave them with?
Just approach this market with respect, curiosity, a willingness to listen and learn. Don't underestimate the power of really understanding the culture. It's not just good business. It's about building bridges and creating connections that benefit everyone.
That's a great way to put it. And for everyone listening, remember that this deep dive is really just the start. Armed with these insights and Menyon's book as your guide, you're well on your way to unlocking the incredible potential of the Hispanic market.
The book, Unlocking the Hispanic Market, Untapped Opportunities for Business Growth, by Jorge Menyon is available at Amazon.